Welcome back, everybody, here to your D2CL coverage. I'm TobiWan.
And I'm the Capitalist.
And we are here for a game which, actually, after game number 2, I didn't think would actually get here. And after 40 minutes of game number 3, I didn't think would actually get here either.
Yeah, I gotta say, that was one hell of a series, and I'm excited. I think Empire has what it takes to come back. First couple of games are really rough. Cloud9 definitely look a lot better, but honestly, I was kind of questioning Team Empire and their drafting and their execution in the early game. They were drafting so oriented towards the early game, but they couldn't quite make it work.
Yeah.
And I was kind of questioning that, but man, Vance Core, man.
Okay, you just want to go into it, don't you?
It's all about Vance Core. It's all about Vance Core. His plays last game were amazing.
It was. The Echo Slam steals, the movements. He's like standing in there in the middle of a fight with a BKB going, I can fight up against Naga Siren. Yeah! To the point he actually couldn't.
Are you kidding me? I mean, he hit a bigger Echo Slam than Earthshaker could all game long.
That's true. Because you had all of Cloud9 trying to come in close and go, let's kill him! Let's kill him! And then it's just like, wait, we've got so many Naga illusions here. This is going to end really, really badly for us, peoples.
Yep.
And it did.
And nobody's really thinking about the Echo Slam on a Rubik. Everybody stays spread for an Earthshaker because you're used to dealing with it.
It was only a level 2 Echo Slam for the entire game. Yeah. He never hit level 16. He never got Aghanims. He never got Veil of Discord. The Earthshaker and the SD, you're actually right at the end of the day. And don't quote me, even though I'll be in the VOD later on. You were right saying the supports for Empire were there later into the game than Cloud9's were.
The Ice Blast is, Aghanims.
Well, the Ice Blast hardly even hit, though.
That was
the funny thing, though.
Factor, though.
It's just because SD could never get close enough to disrupt up the Spectre, because he'll die straight away. And then you had Earthshaker who'd jump in and go, boom! Oh, my boom isn't big. And that was it. It was actually a high level of depression coming out for those two supports. Man, Owie had nothing. Yes, he had items, but he had no levels. Earthshaker had no items, but he had a couple more levels on Owie. It was rough. Let's focus on that game right now because we get our Invoker picked up. We've already seen one earlier tonight. This time around, though, it's in the hands of Cloud9 with a hero which I think has been banned out. Has he actually been banned out in all 3 games?
Yes, he has been banned out. First ban every single time, except for now.
Yeah, and that's the Visage.
They get no.
Oh, wait. I was talking about.
We're talking about different heroes there. No, Visage has actually been picked up.
Sorry, I'm talking about what am I talking about? That was
I was talking about the Ember Spirit. I was talking about the Ember Spirit, who's been banned out every single time by Team Empire
in the first 2 as well,
until they can pick it up themselves. Apparently, they leave it out in the pool. They said, "Go ahead, Cloud9. We're either going to get a Invoker for ourselves, or we're going to get an Ember Spirit for ourselves. Either way, we're going to be happy." So this is going to be fun, man. This is really, really strong support on both sides and a really, really strong mid being picked up by both. Empire, though, I love Ember Spirit. I love watching an Ember Spirit from Team Empire. Any of the CIS teams actually run Ember Spirit really, really well. Super aggressive. It's in your face. It's real dangerous. And now with the clockwork as well, Team Empire looking to control the mid-game rather heavily. Yeah,
it's still going to be a rough run, though, if Team Empire don't get a good start off. You got a Visage already now. I'm not going to say it's a great ganking hero up against someone like an Ember Spirit, especially once Ember Spirit gets into his later levels. But in the early stages up against the Clockwork, you get a Rubik pickup now from Cloud9. They got a lot of killing potential coming out from them. At the same time, you talk about Ember Spirit being up in your face. Do we look at Dazzle and Ember Spirit to go top? Oh, yes! Yeah! Get some!
Oh, this is scary. This is really, really scary in the early game.
How much damage output are these guys going to dish out?
Exactly. If we see an Exort Invoker here, he's actually going to be a significant physical damage dealer.
And then, you get another buff up here. You can get something like a Vengeful Spirit and just rack up the damage, and then Empire just say, fine. You want to play like this? They're going to get Initiating Heroes. Difficult, though, for Slaughter. He needs a Blink Dagger to really make this work. Right. Because Stroke Ranger, you have a Slaughter running in there, you just gust him straight back out again. And then you got Invoker, who's another great controlling hero. Cold Snaps, you're going to have Cold Arrows as well. You've got a lot of controlling abilities to keep heroes at range, which is why I'm thinking VS. It's the swap, it's the stuns, it's the negative armor as well, which you're dragging up. You're going Exort Invoker, we're now looking at Forge Spirits plus the wave. And then C9, we just need one last off-lane hero. In this matchup, I'm actually not 100% sure who they should go for in this matchup. I know they want a range hero, Hello VS. I know they want a range hero, but I don't think in this game they want to have Nature's Prophet. They may need him though. They may need the split push power from this. And I was thinking also maybe a Timbersaw, but up against Slaughter and Dazzle, it's a danger. It's a danger combo.
Yeah, I think you go for Furion on Cloud9. I agree.
It's just dangerous to do.
You go split push, the extra physical damage. Furion is a great physical damage dealer as far as offlaners go. So you still have the synergy there.
To throw you in a curveball here, what if we pick up... no, never mind. My curveball, I realized, was banned out in the second position.
The only other option would be... wait, what were you going to say?
I was going to say a Lycan combination where you run Lycan on the top lane solo and with draw range of Visage and VS aggro tri-lane.
Yeah.
That would really hurt.
Have you yet to see that? I think I've only seen that once, and I've been calling for it so often. The Lycan solo with Howl and then an aggro tri.
Yeah, no, like, that's what I was talking about before with...
but have you gotten a chance to actually be able to cast a game with that combo?
Yes. Okay. About 3 months ago.
Yes.
When Cloud9 was still running it, because they were running it with just the safe lane, but they ran a Luna in the aggro tri. So you had an aura buff up, then you had the VS aura buff up, and then you had, I think it was a Rubik, because they needed a controlling hero.
Right.
So you had that, and then it's just like, what am I supposed to do against this? Like, it's a level 1 fight, and they're dishing out so much more damage than me. And if it's like an Ancient Apparition Chilling Touch on top of that, instead of having something like the Rubik, just from range, you can kill off people.
I can't believe this. Team Empire. So it's either a split pusher to buy you time, or it's a hero that's up in your face that is going to try and be intercepting the Clockwork and the Slardar and the Ember Spirit, those kind of heroes. Something like a Centaur, a Clockwork, those kind of heroes. Now, they banned away the Beastmaster, but I don't put that as a better ban than Furion. Like
it's the aura problem they're worrying about.
Right.
Like you're talking about the physical damage coming out from Furion and the potential for split push. The ability to be spotted before you come in with the Hawks and having the balls also caused some problems for Slaughter running in there. If he has to sprint every single time and he's getting done by 3 different slows, no, that Slaughter's won't have to deal with that one. And Cloud9 take out the Lich in case they're going passive lanes on the top, because that's something else they could do. Like Lich Clockwork on top, Dazzle Slaughter on bottom, Ember Spirit in middle lane. It'll be a nightmare for Cloud9 to try and find a kill in any of these lanes. And this lineup needs to kill. This lineup needs to have VS and Visage rotating, finding people in the wrong positions, which is why I kind of feel like C9, they need to have something like a Nature's Prophet on the bottom lane. You're right. They need to kill us. They need killers. If it's 4 heroes on top, or it's a Visage VS rotating bottom lane with Invoker Sunstrikes, they need this to happen.
Right. They need some early aggression to make sure that Team Empire don't get into their mid-game where they're kind of just like running at you constantly. Once the Clockwork is set up, once the Slardar has his Blink Dagger, you have so many different ways to be able to jump onto the Invoker, to jump onto the Drown Ranger, and that's my biggest fear right now. I mean, unless Cloud9 run like... I mean, you're the expert on Drow Ranger. You called it in that one game when it was RTZ feeding away their Drow Ranger over and over again. Like, this is going to be one of those games where the Drow Ranger is going to have a real problem surviving because you have 3 different heroes that get up in your face, and that's the biggest weakness of Drow Ranger. You lose your damage, you lose your bonus agility, and you're a real squishy hero. You die very quickly.
That's another reason, though, why I was calling out the VS pickup.
Right, that was a perfect pickup.
Yeah, the swap is what's going to save Drow Ranger more than anything else. They just need to have the insight into seeing who's coming in.
Right.
Because it's quite possible that swap can actually turn you into a really bad position, where VS swaps you into something a little bit deeper in trouble. Because obviously Drow Rangers need to keep a distance so her ulti really keeps kicking in too. So without that, you really actually cripple the entire Cloud9 lineup. I'm wondering too if we're even going to wait for the pickup.
Bonus initiation now for Team Empire though. They can get a Blink Dagger on Shadow Shaman, but also gives them push.
In the early stages, though, I'm really concerned about this.
Yeah.
Because this actually right now, I want to say Cloud9, put the Nature's Prophet on the top lane, get the matchup with the Clockwork, Ember vs Invoker in the middle, run the aggro tri. You got 3 range heroes with stuns, slows, and a lot of DPS up against a Shadow Shaman early on. Level 1 shock. Who gives a crap? Dazzle will have to like heal up, but his level 1 heal is not enough to save anybody, and Slaughter will never get any CS. He can't come to the front lines. You put a Stout Shield on this guy, and maybe a Ring of Protection on this guy with the Quelling Blade, and you may consider going near the creep wave, but then there's no regeneration left for him. And yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. I think Cloud9 right now could dominate that lane on the bottom lane. almost to a point where Team Empire may have to think about switching it up, but they can't. Their lineup is rather locked into this. You know exactly where each hero wants to go. The only thing they could do is Nagro try, and the Puck will be our final one, so this actually gives more of an elusive hero.
Perfect.
And a hero which is able to, I suppose that's one thing which we didn't talk about, is the control of resolution.
Right.
The Puck gives you that. The Orchid from Invoker would also do the same thing.
Yeah, I wasn't too concerned about controlling resolution because you had Gust as well as the possibility of an Orchid being picked up by Sing Sing, if not an Orchid, a later Scythe of Ice. So you still had those control bits. But what I love about the Puck pickup here is, again, another hero. Now, normally when you think front lines, you think a little bit tankier, right? Clockwork, your Centaur, like those kind of heroes that are up in your face that survive through burst. However, Puck is still a frontline hero. It's just possible that you could get burst down pretty quickly if, that one disable happens. However, that is still going to be really, really good. Puck pickup here. The blink in, the dream coil, the silence, those things to stop Slardar when he starts sprinting forward and going for that blink, or Mag angling for that hook shot. Bone 7's play on Puck here is going to completely determine the pace of the game for Team Empire, and whether or not Team Empire are actually going to be able to find the opportunities to initiate on Drow, or whether they're just going to be held in their place by Dream Coil and torn apart by the ranged artillery of Cloud9.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, mixed with a possibility of an Exort Invoker, you've got Precision Aura, you've got the bonus agility going the way of Drow Ranger, so she by herself is deadly as hell. But then you have, is that new? That bottom left?
Yes, that is actually.
Cool.
Well, however, it's actually causing me a lot of problems here because I can't move myself around without accidentally clicking a hero.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, but I just want to check out his set.
That's awesome. I'm sure there'll be
Sing Sing, get your head out of the way.
Pretty cool screenshots coming away from that.
Well, we'll see if 2 MV will agree to use my set, which has started, peoples. It started. The bow is amazing.
It does look pretty cool.
But I can't share anything.
It does look pretty cool.
I can't share anything.
Yeah. But going back to the Drow Ranger, the physical damage you're able to output early on with the possibility of Exort, Invoker, meaning Forge Spirits coming into play, that's even more damage. So if you get the right setup from your Puck, you'll do a lot of damage with an Exort Invoker. That being said, the possibility of maybe Tornado EMP, while not being able to do as much damage, you're still able to, there are more disables coming from a Quaswex Invoker with the Tornado, the EMP, those important kind of things. So maybe that's a better idea because you have more ability to protect your Drow Ranger with that kind of build.
Mm-hmm. I'm going all cameraman style on us right now. Bring on the source filmmaker. While we wait, we actually have had very little delays. Like tonight has been, I don't want to say flawless night, but it's definitely been a very, very smooth evening. No problems whatsoever. It's been a wonderful night of Dota. I'm glad that everyone's been able to tune in as well. I know there was some other great games happening on this evening. And thank you very much for your do we say patronage? Can we say patronage?
Sure.
I think it's patronage.
Yeah,
thank you very much for your patronage tonight on the live stream. Expanding my repertoire of words. You need to just spend like 5 minutes with AC. Let's get, how many words do you want? Well, let's have a grammar lesson. Be wonderful. Be wonderful. Yeah, but we've actually had very little delays tonight. So thank you very much for everyone who has tuned in. And while we're actually sitting here too, if you haven't done it yet, you might notice in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, we have so close to $125,000 prize pool. Now, if we hit $125,000 prize pool, we get a 1v1 solo mid competition, chosen by you guys at home, the community. So if you can, if you haven't done it yet, go and buy a ticket for the D2CL. Push us up over the 125,000, and by doing so, we will then be looking to have a wonderful 1v1 competition sometime soon, hopefully.
Yeah, and it means you could be having fun with Showcase View while we're waiting for this pause to get over.
Also that too, yeah, because you can use that if you're inside Dota TV.
And you can go ahead and Showcase View the drunken red panda. The most adorable of couriers.
Hang on, let's wait, he's the Empire courier, isn't he?
Yes.
It's wait, I can't. Oh yeah, I can. It's just like, I look at him go. There you go. And he's got like this phase shift kind of thing going. It's like he's like permanently backtracked.
I'm gonna say that's this little red panda has drunken brawler, and he's a master of drunken kung fu.
I was actually thinking like he's from the Matrix. Because he's like moving back and forth. He moves like an agent. I've never seen people move like that.
Oh, Toby, he's a baby brewmaster.
He's a baby
brewmaster.
He's a baby brewmaster. Well, all agents start young as brewmasters. Resolution. Look at him coming up. This right now is intimidation. This is just pure intimidation. It says, all right, Envy, you want to run a safe lane hero? You want to have some free farm? That's fine. We will contest you. And that's exactly what they're doing too. Vanscore and Always on a Fly, actually, are they?
Really? I don't see
No, they're not.
them
They're backing
contesting. Because we talked about the possibility of Cloud9 being able to win tri-lane versus tri-lane because they have 3 ranged heroes.
Yeah.
I agree with your analysis on that. And I don't see that if Cloud9 are giving you just a regular old safe lane, just go ahead, just be fine with that. Just be like, okay, whew, thank goodness. We dodged that bullet. It would have been risky as hell from Cloud9, but they're not afraid of risks. And we've seen them be able to make those sort of situations work before, like that gyro whisk combo.
Yeah.
So they're just going to go ahead, back up, safe lanes, tri-lanes, safe lane, tri-lanes for both sides.
Block it, Mag. Block it. Block it like it's hot. Oh! He blocked it like it was cold. Needs to get the second one in there. He got 2 of them, but he'll lose 2 of them. And this is actually still okay. I think there's one thing we've learned a lot. Oh, actually, hello, Resolution. Is that another invis initiation? I don't know. Either way, the damage output right now is looking so much better for Sing Sing. This is something which we didn't really explore too much, but it's the fact that you can actually run across Wex Invoker here in the middle lane and not have to have your early phase boot. You go into the Null Talisman instead because you got your bonus 6 damage, sorry, coming out from just the aura from Jar Ranger. And when this starts to level up more, I think Envy is one of these guys that only puts 1 level up. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's only just 1 level. He puts everything else into Gust, Cold Arrows, and Ulti. And then he'll level up his aura again. But I'm wondering in this lineup if it's worthwhile. Resolution. You confident man.
Oh
it's
my
because
God.
Sing Sing doesn't have level 2, so Pwn 7, Pylai Die, burns up a hell of a lot.
Yeah, if he had Vanscore there providing that extra heal damage, there's a possibility he could have chased down Pilot Eye and killed him.
What's Vanscore doing? Vanscore was stacking or, well...
I'm not sure. The Vanscore they were making a swap. Always Wanna Fly was middle with Resolution, but they knew Shadow Shaman was not going to be good enough. So they needed that better laner, which is what Dazzle is. He's a much better laner between Poison Touch and the heal.
And Bone 7's having a really good time on bottom lane. This is a level 3 puck in under 2 minutes for the offlaner. In comparison to Mag, who's actually managed to get 3.5 levels of his own. Everyone just seems to be getting a lot of levels and farm. Actually, I just realized I should put the board back the way it's supposed to be. Everyone's getting a lot of levels and farm apart from, like, the supports. The supports have been the sacrificial lambs in this game.
Well played by Bone 7. Getting the rune control, he just went bottom and denied the double damage rune away from Vanscore. So just making sure that Empire don't get that early advantage for their mid lane. I did like what Vengeful Spirit was doing in that middle lane because, again, Sing Sing Invoker has, especially as a Quas Invoker, you're not very strong until you hit level 3. Now that you have Exort being picked out, and you have Forge Spirits actually being able to summon, now you can leave Invoker alone in lane. But before that, they could shut down Resolution while also ensuring that Sing Sing doesn't miss many last hits because he's not dealing with any denies out of that enemy hero.
Yeah. Well, right now, man, we go into a passive style, which for me is actually a little bit more concerning for Empire. Considering Resolution is not really streaming ahead with CS, is because Dro Ranger is getting free space. Like, Dro Ranger, what you said I called previously was the fact that Dro Ranger doesn't require a lot of farm to be effective. Of course, that has a flip side. When she gets farm, she's so effective, like, beyond all kind of effective. Like, this is like Hand of Midas Dro Ranger, push your levels through quickly, and just destroy all. You don't need items, you need levels more than anything else. But in this build we're seeing from Envy with the early Wraith Band, it kind of feels like we're seeing what appears to be Ring of Aquila, maybe drums, very early on from him, with the strength treads, of course, or, sorry, agility treads. So with all of that together, we're kind of taking out this this burst mid-game hitting here, which is the way Arteezy seems to play. And I kind of subscribe to his build more than I am, like, this current build coming out from Envy. But at the same time, this is stability. That's all this really is. So make sure you live. Make sure you don't give away first blood. Bone 7. He's running away with the poison touch on top of him. And Vanskol will now take the haste rune. He may actually be able to go for this one. Now there's the orb away. And this will get him in range of the towers. And Vanskol won't dive any deeper than that. But the 2 supports were pinged out in the top lane. So he had the potential to dive it.
Yeah, if he went for like level 2 poison touch, I think he could have gone for that. But he had already leveled up, and he'd already popped his 1 skill point, getting the typical 1-1-1 build.
Was this spotted by the observer ward? I don't know where they smoked up on the top lane. Aoi and Piladai are coming in towards the mid.
I haven't seen mass pings.
I didn't see it either, which probably means like if Sing Sing can pull this creep wave back, and you see he's even denying up his melee creep. He wants this creep wave to basically push up the hill. If that's possible and you see Resolution move past this point, then the ganking is a lot easier. But they're not going to find the opening. The smoke's already been revealed, and they'll move up towards the top lane. Now, no observer ward's watching for this, but Mag's also got no supports and missing.
Yeah, Mag, the moment they show up down here, he can pop cogs and bounce them backwards.
Now Piladai, he's in range. He's in range for the stun. But do they have enough follow-up? There's cold arrows. He puts up the cogs, but it takes him a while to get through that. But with the TP support coming in, they back themselves up. And in fact, the TP just gets cancelled. It was more of an intimidation more than anything else. I think they couldn't find the right position. If there was a level 6 Drow Ranger, maybe it would be a different story.
Yeah, interesting. He has to actually be kind of careful with his Gust here up against the Clockwork.
Push him onto the other side of the cogs?
He could push him out of the cogs, in which case it just means Clockwork gets a free ride home without having to deny one of his own cogs. So
on the flip side, if Piladai gets caught out inside the cogs, he can push Mag out, and all of a sudden it's like free ride home for Piladai. And that's actually going to make a big difference in the later fights too.
Yep.
Like you get a Blade Mail up on the clock where he's like, well, you're stuck in here with the cogs. And it's like, Gust, no, actually quite all right. Yeah, see, look at Envy. He actually went for the same. He went for the build, which I actually prefer. It's the Hand of Midas build for Drow Ranger. It's just so important to get his levels up, especially if you can hit level 16 early. There's just so much more you can do with her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not only just you, but everyone else on your team as well is going to be benefiting from those early levels of marksmanship where the Precision Aura begins to do even more damage for you.
Yep. Well, you've got everyone now having a bonus 15 damage. Yep. And every single hero in C9 is ranged. Every single one. And I know you like to point it out every time we have a Drow Ranger game because I don't point it out enough for you. Is the activatable for the aura.
Yeah, gives them pushing power. And it's not you, Toby. It's really just the fact that I see pro players just not activating it ever. So just kind of forget about it.
Well, if Envy forgets, you can tweet him out later and say, "Yo, Envy, learn."
I don't think I want to do that.
Click button.
That guy tweet flamed me once.
Really? What'd you do to him?
It was a long time ago.
What'd you do to him?
A long time ago.
Oh, Resolution. Careful how much damage. Look at how much damage Sing Sing does. He's got plus 42 in that middle lane when he exhorts up. He just hit Resolution 3 times and dropped him below half of his life points.
Yeah, the synergy between an Exort, Invoker, and a Drow Ranger.
Oh! Hook shots in right now. Now we're going to see the Gust going to work, but he didn't get the push out right. He was almost getting Resolution. That's first blood. Clockwork will take it on the top lane. And that was a quick movement up. It was a wonderful cogs. And
the moment he hit level 6, too. The moment he hit level 6.
Yeah, the Clockwork, yeah.
He was just calling for that setup the whole entire time. Just be ready to teleport. I'm about to pick up level 6. We could shut down this Drow Ranger real early. As opposed to the opposing side, Slardar is getting an equal amount of free farm, hasn't died, and is looking to be going for a fast Vanguard before going Blink.
I don't know if he's going to do that, though. Because right now he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to, right.
It could be the Vanguards. In fact, he finish up the Wand and the Treads, and like, if he has some more time, like just getting a quick Blink Dagger is worthwhile, because it's all about reducing the gap between himself and Drow Ranger, or him as well as Puck. Because he's got to jump on Puck, or else Puck will control him. Just a simple sprint, and I don't see it really working for him.
Yeah, and he has had to, what he's doing that's really important here, that adds to your theory, is that just a naked ring of health allows him to tank up the creeps outside of the tower, which is something he's been doing the whole entire time in order to make sure he doesn't miss any CS.
Ooh, Bone 7, free gold! Orbs, jumps, riffs, even to make sure he gets the last one. Resolution, man, he's very, very low. He's trying to farm up a stack right now, and that's why I need the heal from Vanskol to keep him up. He's still taking a lot of damage here, and while he's missing, Sing Sing's farming, Owie, they're actually given space. This is one thing which I always want to give props to. Like, you talk about Owie being one of the greatest split pusher heroes in the game. Somehow he just keeps doing it with every hero he can find. He just also, yeah, okay, that's a quad stack of Ancients. Welcome to Envy's freedom. Like, just get Mask of Madness. He's going home and host on that. Yeah, but talking about Owie, they always give him the space in Cloud9. They always want to make sure these familiars come up at a really good speed. It looks like you're right. It is going to be a Vanguard. So, sad days for my prediction.
Yeah, it looks like Empire no.
Oh, Clockwork. He's in on Pylai Die. And Drow Ranger is nearby, but with Resolution here, there's no point him coming in close.
This is 2 different rotations before the 10-minute mark by your mid. This is how the CIS scene really loves to run their Ember Spirit, is it moves around the map really early on, because you can just constantly go in for these kills thanks to Fire Remnant.
It's not helping him though. Like he's not getting the kills. He's getting the assist, so that's right. A nice thing for him. But the transitioning into big items really isn't there just yet. And Sing Sing's having himself still a great time in the mid. This guy's building into a mech. So killing off Sing Sing's gonna be really difficult. This means that Owie must be rushing up into something along the lines of just his Aghanim Scepter. As quickly as possible he gets that up and running.
Yeah, I think an early Medallion of Courage would be a smart pickup, because your dire side, you have Roshan advantage, you have a lot of physical damage coming out from a Drow Ranger. So an early Medallion by Visage before going for that Aghanims is what I expect. But I think you're right. Faster Aghanims. I mean, Owie's so good with the Visage familiars anyway.
Yep. One thing that needs to happen right now is if Envy's going to keep doing this with Drow Ranger, he needs to get that mask, at least lifesteal. Just the Morbid Mask would be enough.
A Resolution's going to find it. He's going to see the stack.
They get a kill right now. Yeah, Resolution might see the stack, but I'm watching Mag die on the top lane. So VS with a stun. There's a Gust too, so there's no potential for Cogs or a hook shot out of here. They're going to keep the damage going, and they got him. Now, Resolution's going to move himself up now. There's no Gust here, but Resolution, dude, you can't take up that much damage. And now Dream Call, also used by Bone 7, jumps in with a flame, looking for the chase, cannot get it, gusting him back. Envy, he's there under kill off stun. The Familiars came up. This way you give him the space. Envy will still go down here. And the Familiars, they keep him up, and Bone 7 will go down. Resolution with a double kill. Sunstrike looking for the silent pick-off too. Couldn't nail it from Sing Sing. That fight from C9, it looked like a very good fight, and then they went deeper. Too deep.
Yeah, really good turnaround there from Resolution, especially with Slaughter making that jump, that teleport in. He knew he could turn, and he blew 3 different Fire Remnants to get the most amount of AoE damage he could on all 3 of those heroes, and they combined that with a good Sleight of Fist. That was an amazing turnaround there from Empire, and what should have been a Resolution simply overextending himself.
Yep. It really looked like he was just toast, but yeah. But now you've actually fed away also. There's 2 deaths now to Eternal Envy. And now, I know we're talking about like subscribing to the Arteezy way of playing, but still, you don't need to have the deaths there to make it worthwhile.
And that's what's good about Ember Spirit here, as you typically think about like, oh, you want to be able to get all these damage items, but if he's shutting down the enemy carries, that's okay, because, yeah, Tower just... Again, it's the stupid combo. Please, Valve, don't let Familiars do 39 damage a hit.
That was also really smart there by Owie, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Always on a fly. Just from the high ground, the hook shot will come in, but there's a lot more here, and he gusts him out of it and into the middle of 4 waiting heroes. And Resolution did come up top lane, but he triggered off the Invis rune. He's looking for an opening. Now, is there sentries? Is there dust? There's nothing. And his Invis, he's waiting for Envy.
Separating himself.
Yeah, because you know what Envy's going to do? Everyone does. He just goes to farm every time and time again. And he's going to lose his life here.
He's just giving more time.
Wait for it. Yeah. Jump him. He's stealing all the experience. Envy, you don't have time for that.
Ooh, that was close, though.
But he purchased them all with Master before death. While in middle lane, yeah, Vansko getting caught out. I'm not going to say it's a great 1-for-1 trade. But the fact that they were able to get those pickups on top lane before really do go to work. And that's now going to be tier 1 tower in middle lane, too. Yeah, but the play which came out from Owie was a familiar drop down, so we stun up the Clockwork, so there was no potential denial. Yeah. That was what I was going to say.
That was good. And what I was talking about was the familiars being comboed up with the Drow Ranger Precision Aura when activated.
Pilot Eye.
Stupid combo.
Needs to get this stun off quickly. He's going to get it on Resolution. Sunstrike. Cold Snap. Resolution. He tried to remnant away from that, but nowhere near fast enough. And now with him down, And Drow Ranger's back alive again, so giving out this aura to the rest of his team again. Forcing down mid seems like no problem. Pylai Dai is dishing out plus 35 damage on a VS. Still gotta be careful about the shocks. But there's still some really good DPS coming out here from all of C9.
The familiar push. Once again, the familiars with the Forge Spirits taking down yet another tier 1 tower. Empire should be ahead in gold right now. They should be ahead in gold and experience, but those 2 different towers going down means that they're not. Mask of Madness picked up. Ancient stack should be done pretty soon, like you were predicting earlier.
Yeah, this is that injection of experience. So Envy's going to get himself out of the jungle and crack the level 2 ulti.
But remember, Empire do know about it. Resolution saw it earlier.
But getting in there to fight is so damaging. Like you got a problem of choke points. Familiar's done. Silent needs to get earlier kills to make this work, but even he's going to have trouble with this Blink Dagger of his because the Familiars, it puts it on cooldown, and in fact, he's just going to farm up one of the Familiars with the Amplify, while Invoker, well, okay, Shadow Shaman was trying to fight for some unknown reason up against Forge Spirits, and he gets Sunstrike down by Sing Sing. With Shadow Shaman down, straight in for Roshan. Now, they may spot this one out, but it doesn't matter. They've got Howl, they've got Medallion, and then they've got all their bonus damage. This is
an early Blade Mail is picked up by Clockwork. This is really effective.
Jump in! Careful! Roshan's already gone down. The Aegis Immortal gets in the hands of Drow Ranger. And they've got it.
Still going.
They can't. They can't. Swap it. This is what we're talking about. This time it's used to save Sing Sing. Dream calls on Sun, and he's in so deep. This gnarly Blink Dagger, even with the Vanguard's not enough to survive. And Resolution, he's trying to use the Remnant. He jumps deeper. He jumps out. The Sunstrike from Sing Sing. Most of it hits on Vanguard, but the Familiars are beating on Mag. But the cogs are perfectly positioned from the Clockwork, meaning they are able to escape themselves out of here. But that's now level 2 ulti up for Envy. They don't even take the Ancients yet. They just take the tier 1 tower on bottom.
Yep, just tower after tower. They just, again, this is what Cloud9 are experts at, is pulling so much extra gold and experience out of the map. They did it so well in Game 1. Was a really good example of the way they farmed up Roshan, they took Ancient Stack, all this sort of thing. They're just doing a repeat of that, except for this time they have heroes that benefit so much more than Game 1. Like you were talking about earlier, you get a bunch of farm on a Drow Ranger, it's insane how much damage you can output. Same goes with Invoker, who looks like we're going to be seeing an Necronomicon build out of him, thanks to the fact that, again, like the Forge Spirits, the Familiars, now you throw Necronomicon minions, all with the Drow Ranger aura coming into play. It's a ridiculous amount of added damage.
Yep. It's a beautiful, beautiful time for C9, and here's the stack farm. This is also when your supports are going to really bump up in the levels. Like Pilot I now have been doing the hard road for now, but in come the Necreators, in come the Forge Spirits, and just let them go to town.
Look at these Familiars. They're not supposed to, like, when they have maxed out charges, they do about that amount of damage, but they're just doing 54 damage a hit passively right now, thanks to Drow Ranger whenever they're close to her.
Resolution.
And the Vengeful Spirit.
Free gold. Should be gushing him back out here, but the Hex there. Bone 7. Dream Call. The Sunstrike's going to be pretty hard there too. Remember, it's just the Aegis the Immortal that's going to go off, and Mag. Shallow Grave and Cogs to protect him. Sing Sing. He's been ward trapped up right now. They've got to get him out of there. Envy is trying to. In fact, he did. He cut off a path right there after picking up the Shadow Shaman. Good crush. Familiars. They're still going to work in Silent. Low on life. The Familiars get sniped out here at the last point, but Resolution. We're in again here with Bone 7's puck. The arrow is flying out. Envy. He just stood on the high ground and gets a double kill with that Drow Ranger. Mag's running out in this bottom lane. Invoker's dead, so there's no potential Sunstrikes. But Bone 7, I think he's considering getting there in time, but he won't reach him.
Yeah. Don't focus on Sing Sing when you can be focusing on Drow Ranger for the second time. Eternal Envy got off, I don't know, probably 15 auto attacks there. Considering the fact that Eternal Envy's hitting for 200 damage a hit, almost. Especially when the minus armor comes into play from the Vengeful Spirit, as well as the aura, you're actually hitting for more than 200 damage a hit. So 15 auto attacks, yeah, I mean, you do the math. That's a significant amount of physical damage. You can't just let that happen.
And look at Silent go. If Sprint comes off cooldown in a moment, are they going to deny the haste drone too, just to be an absolute destroy? No. Yes? Yes? No. Yes? No. No. That crush, that actually does a lot of decent damage at the start to those Familiars to get a pick off.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But right now, it's a little bit more than getting a good crush off.
Yeah.
Like, Ember Spirit comes to bottom lane, but we just got a full BKB finish. Pilot Eye should die here. He doesn't have mana for much more, but he's got a lot of armor behind him. And Resolution doesn't feel any kind of extra control. He couldn't get close enough to get the chains off. Not without using another fisting, but he didn't want to do that.
Look at Aoi.
His Aghanim's done.
He has full Aghanims already.
Yeah.
This is...
They gave him the space, man.
Yeah.
They gave him the space to do it. The only downside is he can't summon it for another 100 seconds or so. But you've got him with that, and you've got the BKB for Drow Ranger. Now, what do Empire really have that control him now? You want to amplify him? You've got no physical DPS that can fly in on him. Resolution can't do that. Now you got magical, you got... Okay, so you got physical from Sleight of Fist, but everything else is magical.
It's got to be the amplify damage, Sleight of Fist, as well as the wards. That is going to... You have to just put that physical damage on the Drow Ranger as soon as possible. And whether it's going to be locking her in with the cogs or locking him in with a ward trap, hold him in place somehow and just beat him down real quickly.
Yep.
Because then you lose so much extra damage. Like, the aura is gone. The extra damage for the familiars is gone. Like, everything is taken out once that Drow Ranger is dead. There's so much less physical damage available to Cloud9.
Fight's about to come top. They're TPing everybody up. The mass open wards are there. Rocket to scout out Drow Ranger. She gets rid of at least 2 of these wards at the start. Fist up, but there goes your Dream Coil. It only catches on 2 on Bone 7. Hexed up, not the greatest position for him with these wards. And actually focusing on the hero. Instead, Silent jumps in. Stunned up. He can't get a single ability off. The BKB went from Eternal Envy, but this is a 1-for-1 trade. Soul Assumption damage down, and there's your swap.
Good swap.
It really pushes Mag back in. Envy needs a cold arrow, and they get the Grave Chill. Blade Mail's there. They'll wait it out a little bit longer. There's your attacks. 1 flies in. There it is. Invoker picked up the double kill. Meanwhile, the back end of play...
Oh,
What?
no. Resolution. He was behind.
He wants Envy. Envy... Oh. Ah!
Got him.
Got him.
Anyway, I was going to say, 1 auto attack from Drow Ranger took about, I would say, 1/6 of his health. 1 auto attack on the Blade Mailed Clockwork. Got to be really careful with that. And the funny part was it was Shallow Grave Clockwork too, so he wasn't actually doing any real damage. So he's definitely got to be careful with that when his BKB is on cooldown. But yeah, Empire just kind of falling apart right now. It's Cloud9 just used what is supposed to be, middle to late game heroes. But when you combine the synergy that they have with this lineup, with the auras, the familiars, they have so much added physical damage that they're already in the mid game. They're already outputting that damage. And so they're able to just take a whole bunch of towers, take some good team fights, and all of a sudden they're over 10,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic on the map. While Empire, they've still got some things that just work for them. If Slaughter can finish up this BKB, life's going to be a lot easier for him during these fights as opposed to jumping underneath the tier 1 tower, getting cold snap, VS stunned up, and everything else that was thrown at him. You remove him and you remove the stunners. The Mouse Serpent Wards, you saw Envy, I know he wants the money for it, but the other primary thing was removing the physical DPS away from him. That was the goal with what I think he was trying to do. Remove that buffer that Empire made in front of the tower. Means too, the tower doesn't take any kind of extra damage. And the rest of C9 can freely move up and down that lane for the fights. But yeah, once the BKB's there, maybe you can move a little bit more freely. Ember Spirit going Shadow Blade build.
What? Battle Fury, right? No. What?
No, when you go the Claymore early like this has got to be, maybe he's just looking for the extra damage.
Oh, really? Shadow Blade?
It's the first thing that comes to my mind. I haven't seen it before. But it would be one way that he can hunt down the VS.
And the Drow Ranger,
it should be Battle Fury. It should be Battle Fury. But because that's the normal thing. But yeah, I see that and I'm thinking, what do they need right now? They need some level of initiation. Doesn't rely on Slaughter.
I do agree that they do need some initiation. Battle Fury, though, is still definitely Battle Fury for Resolution. I think he's angling for late game here. He knows the mid game is going to be lost. Cloud9 already have that, so if you can get a Battle Fury and go for a turtling, Sleight of Fist, like that sort of deal, they can push into late game where they
won't have time
option.
for this, though. And you're seeing Bone 7. VS, swap up, Van Score, Call Snap, Gusted. Invoker will take the kill, and now the Familiars. Look at the Dream Call on 3. There was a hero called Always Want to Fly around that tower. He now no longer exists. And Resolution Fist jump in. So if you want to do the damage, you should have just been straight into a Desolator and maybe consider the BKB later on if it doesn't work. Silent jumps in again. Pylai Dai was so close to getting that stun off. If he hadn't used the swap before, they would have had themselves another kill just then. But even look at Pylai Dai's money. He's got 1,800 gold on this Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going for another plain buckler.
I would actually think Blade Mail.
Really? Huh, okay.
That's where my mind would go with this one. He's got the money for it, so if he goes back and picks it up right now, then we'll know. No, he sells it. He actually sells it and picks up a Vladimir's offering.
The only option here, like, Mech is already picked up. We already have a medallion being grabbed by the Visage, unless you want to go, like, double medallion and do two different targets. That's just weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess plain buckler would be your other option, which is what we saw from them.
Movement bottom lane. Aoi 2000's too close. He's going to reveal it off, and already the weave starts up. And with a DD on Envy. Oh, no, Empire. Don't be part of this. Even with your weave buff up, with that double damage, we got Puck jumping in. There was a good jump in by Silent. They got him before the BKB comes up, but there's a great buyback. He's coming back into the engagement, and now there's 3 heroes on the sidelines. Mass 7 was still here, but always want to fly. The Dream Call being used, trying to control resolution. They just call it. GG is there. C9 just have way too much power for Empire to survive. They gave us a fantastic Game 3, Team Empire, but with that, Cloud9 will take it up, and now we have our grand finalists. Cloud9 will play up against Na'Vi in the D2CL Grand Final, with Team Empire battling up against Alliance in the third place matchup.
You know, I had no idea that this series was going to be so dominated by Cloud9. I did not see this coming whatsoever. I thought Cloud9 was a good enough team, and I knew they were going to come into this prepared enough to be able to make it one hell of a series, and I thought we were going to see 5 games, but honestly, Team Empire were looking so much better over the last month and a half that I really thought they were going to be the ones making it into the finals. But Cloud9, man, they just crushed it. 4 different actually, really strong drafts. I don't think you can count out that third game at all, even though it pushed really, really light. I think Cloud9 still came into that with a really well-crafted lineup. Again, their versatility is just showing every single game in a series like this, where they pick up something entirely different. So both teams, this was a very, very fun series to watch.
Matt, if they play like this, Cloud9 up against Na'Vi, we're going to have an amazing grand final. Like an amazing grand final. Also, last props, Pylai Dai, 1-1-16. Support player of the match right now.
Well done. We also got to give a shout out to Eternal Envy, because you said it. We weren't really sure, but his first 2 games, 0 deaths. 0 deaths between his first 2 games. So
yeah. Maybe it's trying to put it was like Jo and TI too, wasn't it? No deaths in the early stages.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but yeah, I think so. Yeah, people were questioning his Naga Siren in Game 3, but you know, he's carrying in the first 2 games.
There was that one sleep which I think he himself would question happened.
Well, some things like he turned off his Radiance at one point in a team fight, maybe some questionable non-uses of ultimates, but otherwise...
Don't take the flame.
Otherwise, man.
Don't bait the flame.
Cloud9 looking very, very good.
Yeah. That they are, Matt. That they are. That's going to wrap up our night for tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the matches. VODs will be available over on our Dailymotion channel, so dailymotion.com/join Dota. We have a 48-hour waiting period before we put them over on YouTube, but you'll notice the Na'Vi vs Alliance matches are already over on youtube.com/join Dota. So if you missed the first semi-final, highly suggest you watch game number 1 from that. Some really great matches coming out. We're going to be back tomorrow evening, I believe, is when Alliance is meant to be playing up against Team Empire. So back again tomorrow night at 18 CET. As far as the grand final goes for the D2CL, keep watching d2cl.org for the details, or joindota.com. We'll put them up in obviously both positions. And MLG TKO will be also rounding up this week coming up. The American finals are scheduled for Saturday evening, and we have the rest of the European matches to be played out on both Tuesday as well as Wednesday. So there's a couple of matches coming out then. And yeah, just keep your eyes peeled on the live and upcoming bar over on joindota.com to keep up to date with every tournament which is currently going on, because there is so many great games coming up all across the board. Everywhere you go, there's amazing games everywhere. Actually, the game tomorrow night may not be at the scheduled time, because I realized, actually no, Alliance is playing their Captain's Draft game early, so we may have it played a little bit later. But yeah, either way, we're going to wrap up tonight. Thanks for watching, peoples. Follow my co-caster, Dota Capitalist is what he is on Twitter, as well as Facebook, and TobiWan Dota for myself. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the matches, and we'll see you next time.